I personally would take a mall or a supermarket.
That'd be a lot of fucking place. That'd be a lot of ground to cover, though, if it was a mall or
True.
supermarket.
But if you can control a mall, if you can barricade a mall in just right, you've got everything you possibly can need.
But then
Most
again, that's...
malls have medical supplies, food.
But wouldn't you have to check on the barricades constantly?
Well, you have to do your rounds, yes, but...
That'd be a lot of fucking barricades.
Well, that's why they have security systems in the malls themselves. You take up office in a security room where you can watch all the cameras at one time, and then you make your rounds. And while you make your rounds, you procure your provisions. You make sure that your ammo is looking stocked up and nice and neat. You check on other people if there are any other people with you at that time.
So you would take in survivors?
If
they weren't bitten? Or infected? Is the correct word?
Now, we can look at it two different ways. We can look at it the standard zombie way, where if you're bitten once, most likely you become infected and die and then are reanimated.
Fuck you.
Or we can look at it a different way. We can look at it more so the Resident Evil way, where you can get bit and mauled and destroyed halfway through, yet you do not turn into a zombie as long as you have some magical herbs or spray. But the vast majority believe that if you're bitten, you become. Now,
so
the rate of becoming varies from different stories. Some stories say it takes hours, even days. Some people believe that it'll take less than a few seconds. But that is one.
What is? I also have another theory. Do you think there's actually, if this zombie apocalypse shit does happen, do you think there's actually one person in the world that'll be immune to the virus, and if they get bit like a shitload of times, they won't turn into a zombie because their body is just immune to it somehow? Do you believe in that theory?
Here's the thing.
That person be lucky as fuck.
If it's a biological weapon or a viral infection of any type or shape, any kind, there may be a chance that few people on the planet are immune to it. Whether it be, air, liquid, fluids of any kind, bodily fluids, if it's a spreadable disease of any kind, there may be a few that are immune. But then you got to take into perspective that how does it begin? Where did it start? How did it spread?
Take a blood sample probably for antidote, if they can produce that.
Well, you're not listening. How it spreads, if it's an airborne virus.
If it's an airborne virus, you're fucked.
If it's an airborne virus and all of a sudden just random people get sick, then what about the other people in the vicinity? They had some strange immunity to it for that time, but then they get bit and they turn into it. Why? Why is this? We don't know. Some stories never really make any sense, like the Dawn of the Dead, for instance. Random people got sick, especially people who live right next door. You could be a neighbor to a zombie and not even realize it until the shit goes down. But that doesn't make any sense. If it's an airborne virus, why didn't the neighbors get sick? Why did it skip a few houses and hit a house down in the corner? No. If it's an airborne virus, either those who are immune to it stay immune to it, or they stay immune to it long enough for the virus to evolve. It doesn't suddenly change. It takes time. And if there are people out there that become immune to the virus or parasite at the time, then they're lucky.
Yeah, those some bitches be lucky. Alright. One last question. You had just narrowly escaped the city you were living in. You finally got out. You got a big, you got a big old SUV, whatnot. You finally get out of the town and you're driving towards an outpost, for survivors and whatnot, and they have food and rations, everything. Kitty. On the way there, this is a survivor question. You come across, let's see. You just come across a car, a vehicle that had been just torn across the road, flipped over and shit. And you see someone running away from a few zombies. Do you stop to help them? They don't appear to have any bite marks or whatever, just some blood from the crash.
In a moral standpoint, yes, to stop and to help.
Probably do the car thing like they do in Zombieland. He got it with the car. Bam!
In a smart standpoint would be say, no, just keep going.
Well, yeah, that is the way to survival, but that's also kind of mean and heartless and inhuman.
Morally, it would have to be done. Have to stop, Set the situation and remove the threat. Save the target and move on. If it comes to be certain that the target does have bite marks or wounds, then it was all for naught and you have to put this person down. Of course, chances of that, 50-50, it's a flip of the coin. It's all in your own opinion, not mine.
Okay. So supposedly saying you pick up this random person and you start driving towards to the outpost. All of a sudden, it takes a few hours, to get to the outpost. Kitty. You're maybe about 2 miles, 3 miles away from the outpost, and eventually, you eventually notice that the person has a hidden bite mark that you just now noticed. Supposing that you didn't search them.
Well,
and they end up biting you, and you do end up blowing their fucking head off, but you have been bitten. Do you wait for it? Kill yourself then, or wait? What do you do? What would you do if you got bitten and you were screwed?
If it was all for naught and I became bitten, stop.
Bad kitty. Nah, kitty, it's bad, papa.
Nah. Bitten in the end.
Do you want to wait it out?
I have to say that I'd have to end it there now. There's no point in staying alive. There's no point in trying.
So you wouldn't want to be a zombie?
What would be the point? Become a mindless killing machine that devours fellow men? I have no desire for that. If it came down to the point where my death would save more lives, might as well die.
Huh. That's somewhat comforting. Well, that's been Derek, whatever his last name is, on zombies. I'll just call him Derek. His last name's that guy. That guy. Yeah, we might do another Let's Talk thing about a different genre, like vampires or dragons or something like that shit or something. I don't know. Well, any last words to people who are zombie freaks or people who are watching this?
Promotion. If you are interested, there is a really good book out there. It's been out for several years. The Zombie Survival Guide, if you haven't found it already.
Max Brooks. He's awesome. Great guy.
Give it a look. You can probably find it in local Barnes and Noble, or any other bookstore.
Library, if you have it in a library. I doubt it.
Doubt it.
But
that's my opinion.
All right, wave bye to the people, Derek.
I'm not waving bye.
Douchebag.